Virtua Cop 2.
Alright, start us off, game. Most enemies have a lock-on, but not all of them. Alright, good start, but could use some clarification. If you get hit by an attack, you lose a life, your current power-up, and your bonus multiplier takes a hit. There's also innocent people in this game. You don't want to shoot them. If you do, you lose a life, and your bonus multiplier takes a hit. You can shoot down projectiles to save yourself, rockets, grenades, railgun blasts. Unfortunately, you can't shoot down bullets. Yet, power-ups can be found within the game. Some are dropped by your vanquished enemies, and some are hidden within destructible objects. Once again, enemies can be indirectly taken out with the environment. The barrels return, but there are other new ways as well. Moving into the scoring section, if that kind of thing floats your boat, there's a bonus bar. Every valid hit on a bad guy fills it up a little bit. Every time the bar is filled, your bonus multiplier increases by 1, up to a maximum of 9, which means that the amount of points you get for doing anything multiplies as well. But if you lose a life, your bonus multiplier drops by 2, not going below 1 of course, and you'll also lose any progress on your current bar. There are also 2 special bonuses. 3-point shot is awarded for hitting an enemy 3 times. You could do this in the first game, but it wasn't explicitly a bonus. This can't be done on anyone who has a unique death animation. For some reason, shooting an enemy in the head prevents you from doing any follow-up shots. You also can't do this if you justice shot someone, because that kind of defeats the purpose, you know? Then there's the justice shot, known in the previous game as Nice Bullseye, depending on the region. This is awarded for shooting the gun or the gun arm of a bad guy. I'm not sure how specific it is. On the first shot, obviously. Not much point in disarming a dead suspect, you know. And when your game is over, you'll get a rank with a nice fancy title. There's 10 in all.
Gangster, Klutz Cop, Rookie Cop, Average Cop, Good Cop, Top Cop, Crime Buster, Champion of Law and Order, Champion of Justice, Champion of Virtua City.
For the most part, your rank is determined by your score. The more points you earn, the higher your rank, with the exception of Gangster. A score of 0 gets you rank 9. Rank 10 is awarded for shooting too many civilians in the line of duty. Your actual score does not matter. You're gonna actually have to work for that one. Your default gun is the Guardian. It holds 6 shots and has absolutely nothing special about it. The machine gun fires continuously as long as you hold down the trigger. It has a capacity of 30. It cannot be reloaded. Oh, and by the way, this is actually a submachine gun. The rifle fires a burst of 3 bullets every time you pull the trigger. In theory, unless a shot doesn't register, it has a capacity of 24, which translates to 8 shots. It cannot be reloaded. It's good for getting extra points, but it won't last very long. The automatic is basically the Guardian with a bigger magazine. 15 bullets to be exact, which is a lot. The Magnum is capable of shooting clean through any object in the game, so you can take out more than one enemy with a single shot. That also goes for Innocence though. It has a capacity of 6. The shotgun has a bigger hit radius than any other weapon, although it's still not especially large, nowhere near as impressive as Lethal Enforcers. It has a capacity of 6. Life gives you 1 extra life, pretty self-explanatory. The generic enemy can carry several different firearms, but they all behave the same way. They're gonna try to shoot you. Some of them will drop a power-up. With very few exceptions, these guys are all mandatory killing. Then you got these guys who try to slash you with their axes. I'm guessing they have a few issues in life. They will pop up, slash you, and then vanish. They do not have lock-ons. In 2-player, they may have an additional buddy. Some guys stay back in the distance, usually behind cover, and throw grenades at you. They'll throw 3 grenades, then vanish. They do not have lock-ons. In 2-player, they may have an additional buddy. And some bad guys do not attack you at all. You don't have to take them out, and they're only seen briefly. They're strictly for extra points, and in some cases, extra power-ups. Oftentimes, they'll announce their presence. They don't have a lock-on, obviously. They don't attack. Overall, the automatic is the best power-up in the game. It's hard to argue with 15 bullets in a magazine. I wouldn't give it up for any other weapon, at least not intentionally. Magnum and shotgun come next. Not that they're common at all. The machine gun and rifle are the two least effective ones, simply due to the fact that you can't reload them, so they will not last long at all. Don't give up any weapon for them. Faster is not always better. At a few points, it is actually better to wait before you shoot an enemy, to allow civilians to get out of the line of fire. However, this may not be possible on the higher difficulties. Alright, for those of you upstanding citizens, the extra menu is unlocked by beating the game. Some sources say you gotta beat the game on normal. I don't think that's true, but it might be. There's a number of extra options here. Free play, which means unlimited continues. There's an auto reload function. Self-explanatory, but blasphemous. A gun select. This allows you to select any weapon at any time. Pause the game and pull the trigger to cycle through all the weapons. There doesn't seem to be a special weapon this time around, or at least not on this version. There's a mirror mode, where the screen is flipped, almost as if you're looking at the game through a mirror bookkeeping page, if you're curious about your play statistics. As well as big head mode, although that has further criteria, which is to play the game about 60 times according to my notes. So it's going to take a while. If you're less than honest, you can do it a different way. Moving on to the cheats, we'll start off simple. Start the game, now shoot the arrow under beginner until the time runs out. I don't know if there's a deeper science, but this is the general idea.
Stop the airship bomb.
Alright, now here are the codes proper. You will need a controller for them. Controller might need to be in the second port. I don't know if it really matters. All of these are explicitly for the Saturn. They may also work on the Dreamcast, though they might require some translation. A lot of the button presses are still the same, but not all of them. Choosing the officer you want in this game can be a real science. Normally, the officer you will play as depends on which player you are and what stage you play first. But if you want to have full control, this is what you gotta do. You probably need a controller for this. Some sources list the buttons by function. You might be able to use the trigger and the start button, and a reload button if your gun actually has one. But regardless, the general idea is this. You're going to hold down a button until the first stage begins, whichever one it may be. Hold down X if you want to be Rage, Y if you want to be Smarty, and Z if you want to be Janet. Apparently there is an entirely different science if it's in two-player mode, but I don't think we really need to go into all that. Unfortunately, I cannot personally vouch for any of these codes. I already have everything unlocked. I tried out the codes, but you don't seem to get any sort of confirmation if you did it right. Some sources say controller port D. I don't know if it's just a typo, or if maybe you need a multi-tap. Anyway, first things first, all the codes are supposed to be entered on this screen. According to what I saw on the internet, at least. My old website says you gotta do this on the Sega logo screen. Well, damn, I guess I was wrong. From what I can gather, this code is supposed to unlock everything that you would need to beat the game for. Alright, press these buttons. You've now unlocked everything without the effort. Feel good about yourself? At least one source says that you need to beat the game on easy first. But at this point, who can tell? Alternatively, you can activate this from the extra menu, highlight exit. I don't know if that's actually necessary, but you might as well. Press R and continue to hold it down while you start a new game. I don't know how long you have to hold it for, but you can definitely let go now. This mode is for an additional challenge. Now some of the enemy appearances are randomized. I guess I could note the PC version has cheats if you do some file modifications, but that's beyond the scope of this. Plus, I don't have the game anyway. Alright, stick around and I'll show you how to beat the entire game.